Hi, it's Monday, August 23rd, 2010. Just heard another disturbing statement by, the man who's been running our lives that we never even heard of 3 years ago. Now he's king of the world. Regarding the number of troops in Iraq, has been, I don't know, I guess in the recent weeks and months, 90,000 of them have been pulled out. And 50,000 of them remain. And he who must be obeyed, supreme monarch of all he surveys, has proclaimed and declared and decreed that there will have to be more suffering and sacrifice. I'm sorry, I'm not sure that he said the word suffering, but I am sure that he said the word sacrifice. There will have to be more sacrifice. When you're the leader of a military force, the only instance really where you would say something like that was if like you were trapped with them in the Alamo, like Davy Crockett, with 230 guys against like 5,000, and you really didn't have a hope in hell, but you weren't going to allow yourself to be taken alive. You don't say that when you have a force like ours that has waged a successful campaign there, despite what you hear the negative media that has been promulgated and propagandized against this campaign for years and years, ever since Bush was the president. Bush, the worst president ever. Miss me yet? Yeah, I miss you, W. Now, you couple that with the fact that on the other side of Iran, Iraq being on the west side of Iran for all you non-map readers, and Afghanistan being on the eastern side of Iran, that would be like looking straight at the map, assuming that north went to the top of the page, then west of Iran, that would be the left side, that would be Iraq, and then to the right of Iran, that would be the east, would be Afghanistan. And if you haven't looked at a map too many times, you might be interested to notice that there was a military presence, or continues to be, supposedly a non-combative military presence to the left of Iran, where there used to be a combative military presence to the left of Iran. And now to the right of Iran is a somewhat not as sizable a combative military presence in Afghanistan as what used to be. And furthermore, that makes me think that, have you noticed that since in the last year or so, this Pakistani drone thing, the drone war going across the border, notice how that's all out in the open now, and it's no secret. Where, at least, George Bush was the president, and he had the brains and the strategy to keep that a secret, not only from the American people, but thusly, because keeping it a secret period, that possibly the enemy won't know about it as much. Which it forces you to have to interpret our supposed, good guy, leader of the American forces, that would be the commander-in-chief, you-know-who, being that it's not what you say, it's what you do, and seeing what he's doing, does Do you ever wonder, does it ever look like he might be making the moves that are going to get us in a lot of trouble? And do you ever from there go to the conclusion that maybe that is his intent? I know that's probably a pretty controversial statement, but it bears some analysis. Because if you've ever read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, there is one piece of advice offered by the book regarding the movement of troops that says to never attack an army when they are on one side or another of a river. Attack them when they're in the middle of crossing it, when they're halfway. You could move this to modern day times and make the case that, let's say that Iraq was one side of the river, and outside of Iraq was the other side of the river. According to the statistics on troop movement, I'd say we were right around halfway of crossing that river out of Iraq. So, especially since there's supposedly there's no combative units there. What are we doing in Iraq now then? Making pizza or something? I know what we're doing, dude, okay? It's law enforcement and training and all that happy horse shit, supposedly. Look, if they don't need any help training their military, okay? Remember, they were the biggest, toughest army when Saddam Hussein was the president. And they've had a long, ongoing battle with Iran during the 80s, so they're battle-hardened, man. They've been fighting there ever since. Whether it's the Iranians, or whether it's the Americans, or whether it's other elements, Shia against Sunni, all that kind of ethnic, cultural clashing. They're experienced fighters, but they don't need our help. I'd say that offering our help is only setting us up for trouble, and it's divulging our training methods and our strategies and our way of thinking. I can't see Iraqis coming over here training us. Are we learning anything from the Iraqis over there? I doubt it. And the same thing goes for Afghanistan. They don't need our help, man. They're everybody in that country. I bet you there's not a man, full-grown man in that country that hasn't killed another man. And hasn't lived his whole life with killing. Since he was a little kid, probably seen plenty of people getting killed, whether it was in a war by the Russians, by the Americans, by the Taliban, by other groups in Afghanistan, by Muslim terrorists, or by their own fathers and uncles and shit, and brothers, members of their families. Furthermore, in The Art of War, there are other okay. Well, no. I guess that's it for now.